guys, how's it going? It's Alex of Coyote Astrology, and this is my weekly forecast for the week of May 20th, 2019. And the detox continues as we come off of a very intense Scorpio full moon that we just had on the 18th. So that was a very intense full moon because it was Scorpio, and Scorpio is intense. It's about transformation, and it is the Phoenix, and being burned so you can rise again is not altogether super enjoyable 100% of the time. So a lot of people felt that one. I think that it surprised a lot of people as well because of that Uranian influence. So kind of came out of left field in some ways emotionally. And we see the detoxification and purging process continue into this week, but this week carries with it a lot of healing on top of it. This is because we have a lot of aspects to Chiron. We also have the Sun and Mercury move into Gemini, which normally is about sort of shaking off the winter time, ready to mingle, ready to go on a little trip, meet some new people, engage, integrate. But we still have Mars in Cancer right now, which is very conflicting because Mars in Cancer likes things to be secure, familiar, and honestly would rather just stay home most of the time. So we have a little bit of conflict there, and Mars is going to be squaring Chiron, the wounded healer, and we also have the Sun and Mercury sextiling Chiron this week. So this is about facing our wounds, and because of the aspect to Mars in Cancer, a lot of this has to do with childhood wounding that manifests itself into extreme sensitivities or triggers in our adult lives. So Mars in Cancer is about the echoes of our traumas from our upbringing. So this is the little part of a lot of us that was bullied on the playground or had some kind of physical insecurity growing up, the inner child that watched their parents scream at one another and eventually separate, all of these painful memories that are lodged somewhere in our pain body and manifest themselves to wreak havoc in our interpersonal relationships and keep us from really stepping into fully embodying our highest self. So when we have Mars in Cancer aspecting Chiron in Aries, which is an identity wound, you can see how, put those two together, we're being called to do some healing on our wounds that stem from long ago. And Mars in Cancer is very sensitive. It's a water sign. It's very defensive when it feels shy or threatened. It keeps things very close to its heart. So people can be walking around this week a little weepy or a little easily triggered. We also have Mars sextiling Uranus and Venus this week, so this can definitely cause eruptions and emotions. So keeping in mind that people are feeling a little bit more sensitive than they might otherwise be, and holding space and compassion for everyone to sort of go through the journey of this week, which is deeply shamanic and carries with it a lot of opportunity to really level up if we're willing to do the work. So that's really what Chiron is about. Chiron, the myth, he was a half centaur, half human. So right away, he reminds us of our human nature, our humanness. He reminds us that we're all imperfectly perfect divine beings that come with our own unique wounding, our own unique desires. And right away, he asks us to forgive ourselves for that and remember that in a society that programs us to think that we should all be perfect and never have these things going on, of course we know that isn't true. He was essentially a master teacher. He was an astrologer, he was an oracle, he was a medicine man, and initiates would come to him and he would put them through a series of initiations and then help them step into their higher spiritual gifts. So this initiation, or this process of initiation, was having them look at their wounding and go through the very painful process of recognizing what that wounding is, face it head on, bravely. Chiron is about bravery, and heal it. And once they did so, Chiron, if you look at Chiron in your chart, his glyph is actually a little key. And the reason for that is that once these wounds are healed, he then would grant the initiate their unique spiritual gift that had been hidden behind all of this pain and all of this density. So Chiron is about moving density energetically, density, blockages, stagnation. This is Saturn. And clearing it so that the higher consciousness, life force energy, Kundalini, represented by Uranus, could then flow freely through the body and then bring in higher consciousness. So it's really a process of raising vibration, but the only way to do that is to face the density, Saturn. So it is deep alchemy. This week is full of it. But it can be painful because we're dealing with Mars and Cancer. So it's a little bit moody. And I think that the way to really go into the week feeling prepared is to be hyper aware of triggers and then move through the meditation of asking the self, where does this stem from? And seeing how far we can trace the pain trail back in time to some interaction where things went horribly wrong, and now there's this program instilled within us that keeps us from getting along with our partner, being able to step fully into a place of confidence to access the things that we want to do in this lifetime. And then really leaning into the painful areas. This is about exposing really vulnerable aspects of ourselves, not only to ourselves, but to our partners and our friends and anyone that happens to be around witnessing it. And I think that this can manifest in many different ways, because everyone's Chiron is different, and we have Chiron in Aries right now, and everybody's identity wound is different. But just know that Chiron is here to be your friend, and he's here to initiate you into your embodying your highest self. He's not here to just make you feel like crap. He really is showing you the wound so that you can alchemically dismantle it and transmute it into a profound gift that you can only access if you get rid of all of this baggage wearing you down. So yeah, pretty magical week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am available for readings this week, so my email will be down below. However, I'm taking a little vacation, and I'm unsure of what my Wi-Fi connection will be when it's time to post my next video. So I'm just giving you a little heads up now that my video might be a little bit late. So I haven't died or anything. I'm fine. I don't know when it's going to be out. It may be on time, but we'll see. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And if you have enjoyed the music in the background of this video, as always, I'll put the link on where to find it down below. All right, you guys, I'm wishing you guys such a magical week full of healing. I love you so much. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.